Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 9 in the series The King Rules. Every Tuesday I post a video in the series This Piece Rules, King, Queen, Rook, Bishop, Knight and Pawn, and I said this is number 9 in the series of the King. You can find all the other videos in this series in the playlist, which is in the description box of this video. I want to show you a game which was played in 2008 in which the king played a very important role. It was played between Nikola Nestorovic, a 19-year-old Serbian international master who would become a grandmaster 8 years later. His initials are NN, which is, as an internet post I put it, a bad omen for a chess player. NN Nomen Neskio has lost a lot of very spectacular games in the history of chess. His opponent in this game is Milko Popchev, a 44-year-old Bulgarian grandmaster, so this youth versus experience in this game. It was played on the 25th of July 2008 in Stara Pacova in Serbia. It was round 4. Nikola Nestorovic opened with e4 and his opponent Milko Popchev played g6, d4, bishop g7, knight c3 and knight c6. The experienced player plays a modern defensive setup. Bishop e3 and d5. It looks for a moment that black is giving up a pawn, but he's not really doing that. If you take with the knight, then there is e6 kicking the knight back, and after knight c3 you can take on d4, take your pawn back. If after d5 you take with the pawn, then there is knight b4, and black will also get his pawn back. Both knight and queen are now attacking that pawn on d5. Nestorovic did not go for that pawn grab. He played knight f3, developing. D takes e4. Knight takes e4, and there's nothing wrong with a move like knight f6, developing the knight to the center, but Popchev decides to develop it to h6. As we'll see, black plays quite a provocative setup in this game. He was the higher rated player, he was a grandmaster, his opponent was only an international master, and he wanted to win this game. d5 from Nestorovic, kicking the knight, knight went to b4, and queen d2. And now it looks very good for white suddenly. He has a double attack on 2 pieces. The knight on h6 is now attacked twice and only defended once, and with that same move, white has attacked the unprotected knight on b4. Is white winning a piece? Well, not yet. a5 is possible, protecting a knight, because if you now take on h6, bishop takes, queen takes, white has won a piece, but then there is knight takes c2 check, winning material back. King d2, and the knight takes the rook in the corner, and this is a big mess, but the engine likes it for white. After a5, white decided not to take an h6, he decided to attack the knight again. And now 2 black pieces are hanging once again. It looks like black has gone too far with his setup, but he still has a move, which he must have seen in advance. It is queen takes d5, nice move, counter-attacking the knight on e4. White took on b4, and black took on e4, so a piece was swapped. And not only has black regained a piece, he also has pinned the bishop. So he's not losing a piece on h6, that would be an illegal move. The bishop cannot move. Nice tactics here. Bishop d3 hitting the queen. Queen back to e6, keeping the bishop pinned to the king, so it cannot take on h6. But now white decides to castle queenside. And he must have expected that black would now have to save his piece, because that knight on h6 is now really hanging. The bishop on e3 is no longer pinned. But now we get the move why I picked this game for this The King Rules series. Here black did not save his piece, he castled his king. It is a move with 2 pieces, but castling is really a king move. The king rules! Black is giving up that piece on h6. Quite spectacular. White took it, and now we see the point. Black took on b4, and now the white king is in big trouble. All black's pieces are raining down on white's king. These 3 pieces are, and this bishop can also come into the game. and the rook can also join through the a file. The white king is in big trouble. There is still a defense, but as we know, attacking is easier than defending, and white's task is very tough here. White started with a good move, queen e3, giving the king a flight square on d2 to deal with the immediate checkmate threat of rook a1. But look at this move. Bishop g7 to c3 was black's next move. The bishop also rules in this game. Black is regaining the flight square that the king had on d2. So again, rook a8 to a1 is a checkmate threat. What a move, bishop c3. White has no choice, he has to take it. And then b takes c3, still controlling the d2 square and still threatening rook a1 checkmate. And now white only has one move to continue the game. And if you want to look for yourself what is white's only saving move here, put the video on pause and have a look. I'll get rid of the arrows so you can have a proper look at the position. White to play and save the game. The only move, and white found it, is bishop d3 to a6. White gives a piece back to be able to take the c3 pawn with his queen to take the checkmate threat out of the position. When the c3 pawn goes, the king will have two new flight squares. What a move, bishop a6. Taking the bishop does not work. Queen takes c3 and white is winning now as he threatens mate himself now on g7. The tables have turned. He's still a piece up and also the rook on f8 is hanging. White is winning here. So after bishop a6 he cannot take. On a6, black took on e3 with check. And now f takes e3 is the correct move and this game will likely end in a draw. Rook takes a6 with a checkmate threat. White plays king b1 to cover the a1 square. And then black can make a draw with rook b6 check, king c1, rook a6. Or he can play for a win with rook e8. Black still has winning chances. But after queen takes e3 check, Nestorovic did not take back with the pawn, he took with the bishop. And that's a mistake, because now black is winning again. Black took on a6, with a checkmate threat, as we've seen a number of times. So king b1, and now look at this move. Black drops another bomb into white's position. Bishop c8 to h3. What a move. This time it is to open the path for the rook on f8 to the a file. So you can't take that bishop because rook f8 is coming and black is winning because of the checkmate threat on a1. So after bishop h3, white had to come up with something else. He played knight d4. The knight wants to come to the rescue of the king. Rook b6 check. Knight b3. Bringing the knight closer to the king, covering the a1 square. That looks like a good defensive piece. And that's why black immediately removes that defender. Rook takes b3 check. What an amazing game from black this is. You have to take back. And now bishop f5 check. The bishop gave itself up on h3 and is now returning to the game with a vengeance. King c1 and rook a8 was the last move of the game. The only way to avoid rook a1 checkmate is for white to start giving away all his pieces. It's quite remarkable that black was able to keep those threats against white's king going, even though many pieces were swapped off the board. In the end, he has just enough pieces left to force resignation from white as there is no defense against this rook a1 checkmate threat. Great game from Milko Popchev. I'm sure he's still proud of it 11 years later. And unfortunately for Nikola Nestorovic, NN had lost another memorable game. And this is the position after white's 23rd move, queen c2 to d2 in the game between Rick with white, which is myself, against the Chess to Impress viewers. It is your turn. What would you play here for black on the 23rd move? You can take part in this game by putting your move in the comment section underneath this video. And by doing so, you will not only be part of this great game, you will also be in the raffle. At the end of the game, I will raffle a chess book amongst the viewers who have taken part in this game. So what would you play here? I'm looking forward to seeing your moves in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed this video, this great game of Milko Popchev. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you like the video, if you like this series of This Piece Rules, then please share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.